This is RGBA, Colorful Tech News and Reviews. My name is Alexandre Vallière-Lagacé, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler Ménard. Great news for those of you who have an iPhone with a humongous crack on it. You can now go to the third-party repair store, get your phone fixed, and not be afraid that if something else on the phone breaks and the phone is still under warranty, well, you can now get service at the Apple Store. Previously in US and Canada for now, and if you ever changed a component of your phone from a third-party store, like I don't know, You Break It, I Fix, or all those little phones that are popping up all over the cities around the world, basically you were kind of foregoing your warranty of the iPhone. As soon as Apple would open the phone and detect that it has like a non-authorized component, well, you were screwed. So now they allow screen repairs. So basically, if the screen is not theirs and something else breaks, they can fix the something else, but they won't touch the screen. And there's also an asterisk. If ever the screen is the culprit, and if the screen, for example, is installed in a way that is damaging the rest of the computer, the iPhone, and it ever breaks something else, then you will have to pay the full price of whatever component is broken to get them repaired. So it's good news. But still, it's like lots of asterisks, and just make sure that if you go to a place where you know they can do a good job.
Because I think third party is a lot cheaper, right?
Oh yeah, it makes it's like not comparable.
Do you remember when we went with your iPad? Do you remember how much cheaper it was?
Yeah, it was like I think the iPad was like 300 something at the Apple Store, and I paid like $120 for the screen. And I know that was like in the iPhone 6 year. So if you add like an iPhone 5 or 5S, they would even replace the screen for like $20. But you could also have like different colors faceplate. Instead of being just black or white, you could choose like a purple, pink, blue, yellow, whatever. So for previous generations, they were starting to have more components of different colors, different types, even some mirror reflective surfaces. So yeah, they usually have pretty nice things at these stores, and they are way cheaper.
And they're pretty good too. It's not this little guy in his basement. They have like a storefront on St. Catherine, one of the big streets in Montreal. It was a real legit business to just repair screens.
Yeah, and they even offer special, very special services. For example, if you drop your phone in the water, if you quickly go to that store, they will actually bathe it in a high-powered
dryer, thermal something.
High-powered ultrasound bath, which will actually delodge every water particle from the board, so that it does not rust, and then they will reassemble it. And like 90% of the time, it fixes the phone. So this is pretty awesome. And also what they also try, which Apple does not try anymore, is whenever you have a GPU problem, where is that if after a couple of years, the GPU soldering points are actually failing, cracking or whatever, and then your computer becomes very unstable and eventually stops working, they will actually try as a last resort to, they remove the board from the computer and they actually put it like on a heated press. And they're gonna superheat the GPU to melt the contact points of the soldered points, and hopefully it's gonna reattach itself to the board. And that usually works like 20% of the times, but it can make the difference between a dead computer and a computer that can give you a couple more years of working life. Yeah, in my case, it did not work. My wife's computer had this problem, and it did not work. They were even super nice, and like they tried like 3 times. Usually they say like they try once or twice, but the guy even tried a third time just like because this was a 2008 MacBook Pro, which had GPU problems in the past. I got the board replaced by Apple, but I think like whatever the way that they were soldering the GPUs was not super strong, and after cold heat, eventually the soldering points were failing. So it was an old problem, but after a couple more years, Apple was not able to do anything for me. So I tried as a last resort to get it like resoldered like that, and it never worked. So yeah, but still, yeah, they do have like tools. They are like experimented people. They're not like corner store kind of guy that pops up one day and disappears the next day. It really is like a legitimate business. And I know in St. Catherine, they even have a coffee shop right next to it. So like it's like half coffee shop and half iDevice repair store. So it's pretty cool.
Talking about laptops, some people are reporting problems with their touch bar, Mac's keyboards, high-pitched sounds on some keys, and non-uniform feel. And I think you had something to say about your touch bar Mac review.
Yeah, the keyboard was not such a big problem. The only thing I noticed, and I can be very picky at times, I was using the keyboard like late at night, and I noticed that the LEDs under the keys were not evenly lit. We'll have a link in the show notes to a Mark Rumor article, which has a video, and you can see that like on the command key, basically the little command symbol is like half lit. But in my review unit, it was like that, but for many, many keys. And I compared like 2 previous generation laptop with this, and it was not the case. So I don't know if because the keys are so slim that the light emits now is different and whatever, but that was one of the problems. But the other problem I had, which was kind of a bummer, was the onboarding process. You know, when you set up your new Mac, you got this little iCloud setup, iCloud account, and then enable, trackpad, Touch ID, all those onboarding steps. In my case, after I logged in my iCloud account, it completely crashed. After more than an hour of waiting and just loading iCloud preferences or whatever, I restarted the computer and I was back to my desktop, but with zero onboarding process. So for my case, it's not too bad. I'm used to go into the system preference and do all my custom setup of every different section of the computer. But for somebody who this was their first Mac, it could be a problem. Now, I know it's not everybody who has this problem. I had it, but in my last 10 years of Apple computer usage, I have never ever had a onboarding process that crashed. And once again, it's an iCloud problem, I'm guessing. So yeah, there really is something wrong with iCloud and Apple. They should really, really fix that.
I want one.
You want one?
Yeah, it's always like that. I always say, I don't need it. But now I'd like one. I think I'd like a MacBook Escape.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like on the edge. Yes, the new thing they put in that computer is pretty nice. Touch bar is like a very interesting idea. I really love where they're going with that. I love that many apps already used it, and many more apps are starting to use it. I know Chrome is implementing it. I'm not sure if it's already released or if it's in the current beta and will be released in the coming weeks, but it's close to be released. But there's just like too many problems with this computer for now. Like this is a keyboard. Everything is like new. This is a new model, new GPU, new everything. So I'm kind of wary because I've been burned in the past of jumping too fast on very new hardware. So kind of like Don Melton, maybe I'm going to wait for revision 1 because revision 0 is scary sometimes. So yeah, even for my wife, she was looking at buying a new MacBook Pro, and I kind of like gave her the sales pitch of the MacBook Pro Touch Bar, and being a very leveled individual, she kindly refused because all the little gimmicky thingies, she doesn't care for it. And in the end, she saved $500 by going with the mid 2015 MacBook Pro as a new purchase last month. So in her case, what was good is that this is kind of like the 4th or 5th revision of that computer model. So hopefully all the kinks are fixed and all the problems are solved, and it will probably last her maybe 6, 7, or 8 years, especially that she's not so intensive on the usage. Hopefully that macOS does not come out with a new release that is super RAM intensive and 16 gigs will not be enough. But still, for what she needs it for now, and the following few years. I'm most concerned about the longevity of the product, and by going to this previous generation, I'm sure that all the hardware stuff is fixed, so it should last quite a long time.
Yeah, everything should be ironed out at this point.
Yep. Other problems that they were happening over the last couple of months is the iPhone 6 and 6S shutdowns once in a while without warning. So this was something that was reported by many users, and we know that Apple worked on it because they said they were trying to address it, and they fixed the bug in 10.2.1 that was released about a month ago. And according to them, it has significantly reduced the unexpected shutdowns. So that's a good thing. Hopefully that should be good. Not sure if it's all. I think it's 70%. So maybe the rest is just other bugs. But for now, at least they got this in place. And they probably put also more debugging statements in there. So that if ever it happens, they're going to be alerted. And they could probably fix it once more in 10.3 something.
They also added your iPhone battery may need to be serviced in the battery settings pane at the top there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So when you get a capacity that is so low that it should be probably replaced. That's nice. Do they say like at what point?
No, I don't think so. They have like this learn more link, and then I guess brings you to the website. Well, it might bring you to this actual page that we have in the show notes or the support at Apple.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if your old iPhone gives you the warning. Because you had battery problems with it?
Right. I'll check. My dad has it.
I'm curious to see if... Because, in your case, it was good for the couple tenths of percent, and then it was dropping like significantly fast. And then it was almost shutting down. Or it was shutting down when it was cold, right?
Yeah. But it was especially like the last 40% that was really bad. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if you get a warning for that.
They've been having problem with batteries too with all the success, like a recall thing there. I have a couple of friends that got their battery replaced under warranty.
Yeah. And a couple more that probably were hoping to get it replaced, but were not able to.
Yeah. I know my brother wasn't part of the program, but he complained a lot and went to the book like 15 Apple Store Genius appointments, and they finally replaced his battery under warranty.
Good for him. So on the rumor side, we got a bunch of iPhone 8 rumors. We're not going to go in details of each of those because the show will last 4 hours. But basically, we know that the supply chain is getting restrained for the iPad Pro, the big one. So there are rumors of an iPad March event. That is kind of almost confirmed because so many different rumors are reporting this and many different individuals. So there should be an iPad Pro event in March. There's also rumors of a 9.7 and 10.5 inch iPads supposedly announced in March. And there's a rumor that says only shipping in June. So it's not going to be the old classic of Steve Jobs. You can buy it now and it ships tonight. So that's not going to happen. The iPhone 8. So now, we are at the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. We don't know anything about the iPhone 7S, and all the rumors kind of are geared toward the iPhone 8 around the last couple of weeks. So what do you think about that?
I heard it from someone else, so it's not my idea, but someone else was saying that I think it was pretty much reading into the rumors again, that they might have this iPhone 8 might be the iPhone Pro, and they might also come out with just another version of the 7S. So like another version of the 7 and an iPhone 8 that completely changes like the design and everything, but still keep a normal iPhone 7S with little upgrades and have this big major iPhone 8.
So take everything from what is usually in the 7 Plus, the Plus model, and now move it to the 8. So the 7 and 7 Plus will be minimal upgrades.
Yeah. 7S Plus, and then you have this 8. It's one size, and they call it the iPhone Pro or something.
Yeah, rumors are saying that the battery life will be a big factor for people to upgrade. If you remember the way that your iPhone is laid out inside, you basically have the logic board on the left, which is about 1/3 of the width of the iPhone, and on the right, and on the left side you've got the battery itself, which is about 2/3 of the width, which is just a big rectangular battery. But the iPhone 8 rumors are saying that this will be an L-shaped battery, so still the same width, but below let's say that the first fourth of the height of the iPhone will now be the bottom horizontal line of the L. So this would probably give you, I don't know, maybe like 20, 25 or 30% more battery. If you add this on top to probably a new CPU, that will even be better at managing battery life. So that would be a big jump. The iPhone 8 should also get 3 gigs of RAM. So that will be nice. And if, like you're saying, that this is a Pro version, it will probably only be available in big capacities. So if you already have like a 7S, a 7 Plus and 7S and 7S Plus with the same size we have right now, probably the Pro will only be like the top tier, like 256 or maybe 512 gigs or whatever.
512 gigs on a phone is going to be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but people are starting to do lots of things on that, so it's makes sense to have more capacity. So.
Yeah, especially if you just look at the progress of the camera and how big pictures are getting, and video, 4K video on a phone.
Imagine if this new phone can do 4K, but at 60 or 120 frames per second.
It's going to be stupid.
Yeah, or maybe 6K. You don't know. They could just do it
8K.
Maybe not 8K, because that would be like. I heard something recently about the RED cameras. The 8Ks, I think it's like 22 gigs per minute or something like that. So it's not there yet, but maybe 4K at 120 frames and maybe 6K at 30 frames could be possible. The other two things that are being worked on supposedly is the front-facing camera, which will get a major upgrade to be able to detect the 3D shape of your face, for example. So we talked last show about the face detection, which can right now, using Windows Hello, detect your face and know it's not a picture because it kind of maps the ridges on your face. But this new camera should be even one step further and probably even more precise and more crazy stuff.
I don't know if this was last week or this week. They talked about like the chin and the forehead there of the phone, instead of being like all black or whatever, not screen, they'd be screen, but not touch screen. So they'd be like status bars, and they can display information on top, and same thing at the bottom. So that's the whole screen thing, bezel-less phone thing.
There's like conflicting rumors about that. Some people say that the Touch ID will disappear and be like embedded in the screen, so you can touch anywhere and it's gonna recognize you. Some people say that it's gonna stay there. Some people say that it's gonna stay there, but probably be like more transparent and part of the display. I'm guessing that this would be the way to go. Leave it there at the center, but instead of having that little metal ring around it, maybe have this a circle in the on the glass, and maybe embed the metal ring inside the glass itself directly and make it black, so that it's almost invisible to the human eye, but you can see that there's a little difference there. But like make it flat and use the rest of the display to be used for whatever, like you say, icons, shortcuts, touch surface, anything. So yeah, that would make sense. Unless they use that for like a special mode, like let's say you go into landscape and you watch a movie, then it can stretch all the way. I don't know. There's a bunch of things they can do. So, but there will be change for sure.
They can do like on the news there at the bottom, like the text that's flying by all the time that's talking about the breaking news.
Yeah, the news sticker.
They can have that just running all the time.
Yeah, that would be crazy. All the service announcement scrolling there.
There's also lots of talk of wireless charging. I don't care about wireless charging. I don't know if you do.
Not really, because I've always been quite irritated with the way that some of those were working. Like we said in the past shows, it's not wireless if you have to touch it, so it's like contact charging, and yeah. So, but now what's weird about these rumors is that Apple is now part of a group of people that are actually like part of a standard, so for wireless charging, but they're also supposedly working on different types of wireless charging. There's even a rumor that says there's already 5 groups at Apple working on different technologies. So what I'm thinking is that probably the higher up says, we want wireless charging, do whatever it takes, we want the best one. So here's like 5 different standards or whatever, or a way of doing it. You guys work on your solution and show us in 6 months what you come up to, and we'll choose the best one. So, which is kind of like what we heard a couple months ago about what was a feature that was being worked on by 2 different groups at Apple, and one was pissed off because they didn't use his.
The car? No, not the car. The wasn't it the when at the anniversary of the iPhone, it was stories about the first iPhone. There, a team was working on the actual iOS we got now, and the other team was working like on a version of the iPod OS.
Yeah,
to
probably
work on the phone. Was it
yeah,
that?
probably that. So yeah, this is not new. Apple was probably doing this for everything, even the size of the device. They actually had we've seen like interviews with Johnny Hive in the past, where in his white room there's a big wooden table and there's like 7 different sizes of iPhones there, prototypes, and you can see that they tried everything, which makes sense. You just want to get the best one out there, and for that, there's nothing better than an A/B testing of different features and sizes and shapes. So yeah, having 5 team is probably more than usual. I would guess that usually there's maybe like 2 or 3 at most. But now I'm guessing that they have a requirement, which is we need wireless charging, and we need the best one. So show us what you can do, and go for it. And probably that's Apple firing on all cylinders for the 10th anniversary iPhone. And like you said, they will probably get this higher end device, and they're going to put all their might and power into this single device and try to push every feature that they can in there. And also, since they have an extra model, they need to have some differentiation. It cannot just be that, oh, the camera is better, the screen is bigger. It's not enough. They need something else that the 7S Plus will not get.
I have a rumor for the March event. That's rumored also.
Okay,
There's going to be new watch bands.
For real? Never. This will never happen.
Seasonal watch bands. Every season they have new ones.
Of course. And they should, because it's a fashion thing.
Yeah.
And it's also very fun to change your band once in a while. So.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that event to be released to get a new band.
Oh yeah, which color, size? Not size, but texture, plastic.
Either the sports band or the nylon.
Yeah, because you were talking a while back that you might want to go back to the sports band.
Well, I like the sports band. I still wear them.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't, since I switched to the nylon one. I haven't gone back to the plastic one yet.
My nylon is all dirty and I can't get it clean, so it looks kind of junky.
Yeah, try to use a toothbrush and lots of dishwashing soap. That's what I do with mine. Every couple of weeks, it also gets like splatters of when I'm cooking or something, and since it's fabric, it gets in the way and stays there. So yeah, this is what I usually do. And once it comes out of the little, I usually use a bowl and let it sit for a couple of hours with very high concentrated soap in the water. And when it's all cleaned and all rinsed and dried, it's like the colors are more vivid and everything. It's like if I'm back into I have a new display P3 on my eyes and to see the watch bands.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah. My team lead also got a new Apple Watch, and he got the Series 1. And he also bought those knockoff bands from Amazon, the same as you, the Milanese Loop, but for $20.
Right.
And it's not bad.
It's nice, right?
I tried it, and it's better than I was expecting. I'm not sure about the longevity and the quality over long period of time, But for just like a try on, I tried it on and it's pretty nice. So I'm not surprised that they are so popular on Amazon. Yeah, but he's not liking it too much. He's probably gonna get the what's it called? The one with the metal
Metal bracelet, link bracelet.
Probably gonna get the link bracelet. I think they have one that's like $40 or something. So
Yeah, I have a friend that has the black Milanese loop from Amazon, and it's holding up pretty nice. The only thing that's getting that's like chipping off is the magnet part there, like the little black tab that's chipping away. But the actual bracelet there, it's still it's not chipping off there. It's still black.
Good. Okay, moving on to a couple more news before going on into our apps corner. Apple is supposedly expanding the AI and machine learning team they have in Seattle. They are looking at hiring the best individuals in the area to work on more AI, more machine learning stuff. And yes, that would be good. Let's say that Apple is doing something different with the machine learning and everything being on the device and not shared across device. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to get all this information shared safely and privately between devices. And the company that is usually responsible for making some very nice modification to devices has announced that they are now offering colored AirPods.
I think they already make colored laptops, colored keyboards, colored everything pretty much, right?
Yeah. You can either buy the device from them or ship them yours, and they're going to do their magic on it, and it's going to come back with a color. So basically, they offer a $130 premium on top of the $159 for the AirPods. So it's a $289 if you want to buy them from them. And they have like 20 colors or something. So you can get like blue, red, green, whatever. But you can also get the jet black color, which would be the one I would be getting if I would be investing $300 US into a pair of AirPods. Because it looks very nice. The case is also covered in black. The AirPods are fully black. And they even reprinted the left or right on the AirPod itself. So it's not this cheap, let's take a can of spray and spray paint the thing and it will be done. It's like quality process, and they really do it like with very, very good attention to details. Links will be in the show notes. And finally, we learned that the official name for the new spaceship campus for Apple will be the Apple Park. So I was not surprised because I know that this part of the city was actually land purchased from HP, which was the old HP Park. So given that they wanted to put like lots of apple trees and stuff like that, makes sense to keep it with Park. And I was kind of half expecting that it would be called Apple Park. So that's pretty nice.
It's funny because they should have actually called this one Infinite Loop.
Actually, yes. Because
it's
the
more
building,
of an infinite loop than the other one.
Yeah, the one was just the street that makes a loop.
Because it goes in a circle. But this one, the office building is actually a loop. Yep. Infinite loop. I think you're mistaking though. HP Park, I think maybe Xerox Park.
Was it Xerox?
Yes, it was Xerox Park.
Yeah, but the land there was actually HP's, no?
Right. But I don't think HP called it HP Park.
Okay, yeah, probably I'm confusing my documentaries I've seen on different companies.
Yes, because I can't find HP Park on when I search.
Okay.
Because I was all excited. I thought it was a good idea, but I'm sorry. I can't find.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Apps Corner. I got a couple of apps I've written down in the show notes. I haven't tried them all, but they are still looking pretty nice. Just before that, iOS 10 is now on 80% of the device. And I think if we compare that to the latest Android version, which was released around the same time, it's about 4%. So still problems for Android for that. And iOS is 80%, which I think since iOS 7, that's when that number dropped. Because before that, it was like close to 95% after a couple of months. But now, because people were bitten so hard by going from iOS 6 to iOS 7, I think they are pretty scared of switching. And also, they were also two versions, I think, since then that actually broke your phone. That was pulled from the Apple server, and they eventually released like a dot release like a couple of days later to fix that, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, people got bitten a couple of times, so they are now scared to upgrade, and that's probably why we still have 20% of the people that are still on iOS 9.
I think, doesn't Google release the percentages of a device that's upgraded?
They actually have in the developer portal a pie chart of the different versions, like in real time.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Yeah. Last time I've checked, maybe it was a week ago or two, I think it was 4% for the latest Android version. So,
Where is it? I thought it was like less than 1 for Nougat. Oh, there, I got it. Yeah, Nougat, was it API 24 is 0.9% and API 25 is 0.3%.
So moving on to the apps, the first one is quite an interesting take on Alexa. Basically, it's an app called Reverb, which basically brings out Alexa to be used on your iOS and Apple devices. So it's an app for iOS and for macOS, which is basically a little circle which you type on when you want to trigger an action, and you just speak. It works. It's a bit clunky. It's not the perfect thing because you need to trigger it manually. You can just like have it listen to you in the background and react to when you call it. But for an Alexa in a software form, it's pretty nice. And it's free, so you can try for sure. It does a bunch of things. It can interact with your smart devices like your lights, switch, and thermostat. Can also talk to it, like tell me a joke and all those stuff. So it's the real Alexa thing. It's not like a subset of Alexa. It's the real thing. So it's pretty nice. The second one is a new battery indicator. So for your macOS, if you want to have a battery indicator that includes the time left of your charge, so whatever Apple removed from the latest macOS updates, now you can have it back in a little shape of a battery on your menu bar. So it's a $1 app called Battery Indicator. Pretty nice. I got it. I asked the developer for a couple of features, so we'll see if he does. He said it was interesting to look into it, so maybe he'll do it.
What do you want?
I want to see the apps that consumes the more data, the more power. Sorry. So like right. You have when you click your battery. Right now I've got Audio Jack and Skype and Chrome, and if I click his app, I only have like information like a fully charged power adapter and launch at login, which is checked. So there's nothing I can really do except look at the value in the menu bar. But I would love to be able to click and see the list of apps. So. And another one from macOS, Macro. It's a new app that was released, I think, last week or close to that, which is basically something that wants to be a replacement of Aperture. So for those of you who remember, Aperture was the pro photo editing app from Apple that was eventually canceled and replaced by Photos, which was kind of like a halfway between iPhoto and Aperture. So you got most of the fun features from iPhoto and some of the nice pro features of Aperture without it being the actual thing. So this is aiming to be the replacement, but not cover everything. It has like basic functionality, but it makes it like very, very nice. So you can do resizing, cropping, rotation, perspective, color correction, filters, and compression. So it's not a replacement for Lightroom, which has much more advanced features, or Aperture for that matter, but it's still something you can easily add into your workflows and really use to do the basic stuff you want to do with raw images and stuff like that. And the last one, we discussed Linea a couple of episodes ago. It's a recently released drawing apps from the Icon Factory. Basically, now they added more features. They added the tilt support. So if you ever use the Apple Pencil, When you draw, you can tilt your pencil, and you can get usually like a thicker or wider or semi-transparent line. Well, they actually implemented that into their app. So just a little high five for them. I'm putting the link in the show notes where you can see different types of pencil and width of the tool. So it's pretty nice. So for Gadget and Review Corner this week, something I was looking forward a lot. I haven't really touched VR since the different machines came out. I have no Oculus or Vive experience, but I was looking into maybe trying something simpler, which can still give you like a good indication of how VR can be used in our daily lives. And this is the Google Daydream. So it's basically like a fabric covered headset in which you slide in your Google Pixel, so Pixel or Pixel XL, and basically you just have like two little lenses in there, and you actually put on the headset, and that's it. Everything runs from your phone, so it's apps you download from the Google Play Store, and it's interesting. Seriously, yeah. So instead of being like a couple $100, maybe $1,000, like some have, Google is actually going the cheap alternative way, and the Daydream is actually just $79. In Canada, it's $99. So for $100, you get a nice little headset and a small clicker remote, which is also like a remote, like from the Nintendo Wii's. Basically, it detects your movement. So the first thing you do when you get that little device is you go through a little tutorial where you're in a forest, and they're explaining how to use the remote. So there's a button that actually recenters the image and the cursor of the remote. And then there's also like one button to go back. And there's also the big circle button, which is the action button, which you click in the app to trigger some actions. Basically, you're just like in a forest. There's a little river, there's a frog, and then nighttime comes, and then they ask you to click the remote to light up your flashlight, and then you can point at things using your little remote. So that's all very nice. Yeah, and then you are brought to the Google Play Store, and you can install Experiences app, which are called like different stories, different like entertainment in the form of audio and visual at the same time. So there's a bunch of kid stories, there's a bunch of documentaries. You can also have video apps, like the BBC has apps like you can swim with dolphins and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice. The one that was, I think, had the most impact on me was actually, and this is funny, the Street View app. So you can choose to go at different places, and you can just click to navigate around. And I tried to go to the Machu Picchu, and when I was standing on the ledge, very close to the ledge, I was actually feeling dizzy because I was scared of falling, because the head tracking is perfect, and the refresh rate, well, there was a picture, so there was no refresh rate, but the feeling you get of being somewhere else is actually pretty real. So that's pretty nice.
I can't wait till everybody gets one of these and we all have this on the plane.
Yeah, that's the perfect scenario for that, because in the living room, I kind of bumped into my table, in my couch a couple of times, because you don't have to, you cannot move around like by walking, but just by turning around, you eventually like sidestep a couple of steps and eventually hit your knee on the coffee table or something. So that's to be expected. But for like storytelling, that's perfect. I've listened to a couple of children's stories, and it's pretty nice. There's also jump scares games, which I haven't tried because I don't want to die there. Just remembering my years, I played Resident Evil on the first PlayStation in my friend's basement with the lights off, and getting jump scares at every new room we were entering with super huge spiders and zombies around the corner or whatever. So yeah, there's one app like that for that. The funniest one I found though was the Netflix app. What do you think it is?
What do you mean? Yes, you told me.
Oh, yeah, I told you. Okay. Yeah, so basically, like you're like in a chalet up in the mountains.
A chalet.
Yeah, a chalet. Up in the
Cottage.
mountains.
It's
A
called a
cottage. All right. Chalet Swiss, no?
Swiss chalet.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, basically you're like in a big cottage. On your left side, there's like a big window, so you can see the mountains outside. On the right side, there's like 3 movie posters, which are Netflix's TV series, a recent TV series. And you're sitting on a couch. And in front of you, there's like a big table with magazines and a coffee. And on the wall in front of you is like a big 80-inch TV. So that's where you have your usual Netflix interface. So basically, you just use your remote and you can click to point. So you have a little dot that is highlighted and you can launch your movies like that and just sit down and relax. You've got yourself a big 80-inch TV in front of you. So that's pretty cool. The only downside there is that the first couple of minutes are very, very, very blocky and pixelated. It eventually clears up, but every movie or TV series I tried, be it like something in 4K, something that is by Netflix or something that is from another studio, it's always like that. So it's the first couple of minutes can be a pain, but then once that's cleared, it's all fine and pretty nice.
Can you, what's the battery situation?
You
have it plugged in?
Well, I haven't tried it like for hours and hours because you eventually get tired because the thing is not super heavy, but it kind of gets on you like after maybe half an hour.
A little strain on your neck there?
Yeah, exactly. So that's not the perfect thing. It's still a bit on the heavy side. They don't have a choice because the phone cannot be, it's actually pretty close to your face. Then they use the lens to fix the distance and everything. But because of the distance it's a lot of weight very far from your forehead. So it actually weighs down on you. But the way that they put the band, the band doesn't fit on the back of your head, but it's like closer to the top. So it's like basically it's the way
it's like ski goggles.
Kind of, yeah. So it's comfortable. The rubber is very elastic and you can adjust it to your perfect size. So that's not a problem. It's just that eventually, like anything, it's something in front of you and it weighs down. So yeah, I tried it a couple of times and it's always for small sessions. So I don't know on the long term, but the battery will probably go down fast because it's super, super, super hot. Once I remove the phone from the Google Daydream, it's almost burned my hand. So I don't know what they do, what type of processing they need for that thing, but it's probably not safe. I would say that they probably push the hardware in the Google Pixel a bit too far. And yeah, because you got the screen on at all times. You got the accelerators running constantly to make sure that you have a seamless experience. And you also have, in my case, I tried it without headphones at first. But then once you put headphones, it's another game changing because right now, just with the speaker on the device, you can hear the sound. So you can say, okay, it's fine. But once you get your headphones in, they actually use like binaural audio. So you have like a sense of distance and orientation of where the sound is coming from. So for example, I was using the demo with the deer. And when the deer came in from the left, I quickly just glanced at the left because I heard noise from the left. So that's pretty cool.
I guess the headphones plug via Bluetooth?
No, in the phone directly.
Okay.
But you can also have like regular Bluetooth headphones.
So then you have like this big wire that's hanging, that's dangling also.
Well, because of the band around your head, I would say that earbuds are probably the better thing you can do.
Okay.
So you just plug them in and using them like that. Because headphones with the band, it's going to be a bit too much on your head.
I can't wait to see like whole family sitting in their living room with this big thing contraption around their head and watching TV.
That will never work. That's the problem. It's such a solo experience.
You can't share. Well,
not for now.
They could have something that's in sync and you both like start the movie at the same time or something.
Yeah, there's already apps for that for regular desktop, like binge watching on Netflix between like partners that are far from each other. But yeah, it's not. It's really meant to be like a solo experience. AR will probably be much better for that once you get everybody some kind of contraption that gives them a sense of themselves, the room, and whoever is in the room. Because once you put these on, even if you start like let's say Netflix movie together, you're still not seeing your friends or family, so it's still like isolated. So it's not the best thing for that. But for what it is, it's pretty impressive. The real complaint I have about this is the remote. It's good in the end. The buttons are nice. It's just that it always loses track of where I'm aiming for it. So for now, let's say I start Google Photos or Street View, and I click, move around. After a couple of minutes, my remote will not be pointing in front of me anymore. I will still be pointing straight ahead, but it would be pointing like to the left or to the right. So I need to recenter. There's a dedicated button on the remote for that. And I understand why, because you have to do it like constantly. So that's the sad part, is that it does track the remote, but I don't think it tracks it like nonstop, like they do for the headset. So you have to recenter constantly. So that's the sad part. So yeah, I give it a big thumbs up. Really nice little device, especially for the price. If you want to dabble into VR, but you don't want to invest into a gaming PC and an Oculus Rift, then this is the device to get. Right now, it's only for the Pixel phones. And I think there's also one other LG phone, if I'm not wrong, that is like Pixel compatible. Daydream ready, they say, yeah. No, there's more. There's the ZTE Axon 7, the Google Pixel, the Moto Z, and very soon there's going to be the Huawei Mate 9 Pro and the Zenfone AR. So they got a couple of more phones coming up, so that's nice. Oh yeah, and also one thing that I found pretty irritating is, since you have a Pixel phone in front of you, the high DPI of the phone is pretty great. But the thing is that the lenses on the headset are actually zooming your field of view into the phone. So any little dust you have on the lens or on the phone is actually zoomed in. So you can see lots of little specks of white, especially when you have dark scenes. So that's a problem. What I usually do is I have to wipe the lens and the phone before putting it in. But the headset isn't made out of fabric, kind of like a sweatshirt or whatever. So there's always going to be like little fabric. So it's still not perfect. I would say that if you have those canned air for cleaning computers, a couple of push when you're just before your session will be the best thing to do. Because
should ship with a can.
Well, yeah, seriously, why not? Yeah, that's just something that's irritating, because at first you get it on and you are presenting with many dark scenes, and you already see the little specks of dust. And sometimes when you have a little bit less of action, you just focus on this constantly. So that's a bummer.
The next version is going to come with a thing that blasts your eyes.
Yeah.
like at the when you go to for your eye exam.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? And also, if you're doing something like those little adventures where you're in a plane, just put a fan on your coffee table and you'll have the wind experience. Even better. So that's pretty nice. There's also some smart people trying to hack this to work with the iPhone. So right now you can use the Google provided Cardboard app, and you can use photos and 3D videos from YouTube on your iPhone. So that's basically it. It works fine, but like they're trying to push that further. So there's a group of people that are trying to make this thing work with like games and stuff like that. So that would be nice, because I can see that not being exclusive to the Google line of products. So why not include the iPhone in that? So, all right. So this is it for this week. Thank you for listening. You can find all the show notes at rgba.fm/40. Already 40 shows, man. That's amazing. And you can find us on Twitter at _RGBAfm. And I'm Valia, Vallie. RES.
And I'm Tyler Menard, TYLERMENARD.
Have a nice week.
Have a nice week.